Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're actually going to get a little personal on this channel and I'm going to share with you something that I never shared with anybody before. And basically, not because I was hiding it, but because I, chose to move on from the past and, look forward what's in the future. But I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm not, it did happen, but I never thought I would bring it up, basically. But what happened was I was suffering binge eating 2.5 years ago, and I suffered it for 2 to 3 months, where I just couldn't stop eating. Like, eating was my way out of the problems that I was having in my head, the ones that I didn't want to face. So just to give like a step back a little bit, I have a blog that is called Go Fit and Busy, and it's a free blog. If you like to check it out, please do. But basically, every time I write a blog, I would try to research, new topics. And one of the topics I found that people being very curious about, very interested in, was actually binge eating. And I didn't realize there was so many people who were experiencing or having problems in that area. So I was like, wow, I actually did go through it, but I never shared that with anybody. So I said to myself, I'm like, why not do research, to ask people around me, if they ever suffered, how they got out of it, and share my personal story and what helped me. Because what is binge eating? Binge eating is uncontrollable eating habits that you use to feel comfortable, where you choose not to face the emotional and mental problems that you might be experiencing. So, and it may vary, like it can be so many different things, and some of them can be you trying to look a certain way, so you starve yourself, or on the opposite side, you like just eat so much because you just want to look a certain way, curvy, skinny, anything like that. Or you might have emotional problems where you don't like how people react to you, or people going about their days, and it affects you basically and your day-to-day abilities. Or you think like everything that you do is wrong, and like if somebody has a problem with something, you think it's it's something that you did. Like sometimes people are lost in their life and they don't know where they're going, they know what they're doing with their life, and they just binge eat and they try to feel comfortable by eating so much food. And there are people who are going through maybe even relationship issues that they might suffering from, and they don't want to face or let themselves actually go through it and live through the emotions, but they would rather just eat through it. A few years ago, I was actually going through some relationship issues, and at the same time, I realized that I didn't like my job. I didn't like who I was becoming. I didn't like where I was going. I didn't know what my purpose in life was, and I didn't know what is going on. Why am I here in this world? What is the purpose of me? So all this together, it actually made me very depressed, and I didn't know. I feel so lonely, and at the same time, I didn't want to share that with my friends and family. Every time they would ask, if everything is okay, I'm like, yeah, of course. But I started becoming so antisocial, and that's why I started getting all these questions, because I was just not comfortable in my skin going outside and just speaking to people. I wasn't able to share that with my family because I'm the oldest child in the family, so I'm always portrayed as being a biggest example to all my brothers and sisters. So I didn't want anybody to know that either, because I felt like I'm supposed to be that best version of the big sister for them. So I didn't want to share that with anybody. But basically, yes, I did go through it, and it was terrible. Honestly, I was so embarrassed by it, and that's another reason why I didn't want to share that with anybody. So I would come back from work and I would just eat so much, and to a point where sometimes I would eat so much, and it's even if I do feel full, I would keep eating, because the more I would eat, the less I was able to think about the problems that were actually going through my mind. So sometimes I would feel even full, but I would still eat to a point where I would just like pass out on my couch, and the next morning I have to wake up to go to work, and I would just feel so disgusted with myself. But at the same time, I didn't know what to do about it. And then I would go to work and I would say to myself, we're not doing this anymore, Marina. Like, I would talk to myself like in the third person. I'm like, no, we can't do this anymore. This is not a healthy way of living my life. But the very same day, I would come back from work and I would do exactly the same thing over and over and over again, because I was like, well, whatever, I'm just gonna figure it out later. It doesn't matter. So I kept pushing the problems off, but I kept like binge eating my problems away. So, and sometimes honestly, I would get to a point where I would get scared to go to my house after work, because I knew what's gonna happen. And the only things I was doing is just staying inside the house and food shop to eat even more and more and more and more. So a few months in, I actually was going to work, and on my way to work, I was passing a window, and I look at it and I was like, oh my God, is this me? And I was so embarrassed of what was going on inside my house, where I was just always like slouching. I was always like looking, like I never had my back straight. I was never like confident because I was so embarrassed of what was going on in my life, right? I was embarrassing of me being lonely and me not even able to admit it. But basically, I was going by the window and I looked at myself and I was like, wow, I don't like who I'm becoming. I don't like what I look like. I don't like inside or outside of me. And I was just like, this has to stop. This has to stop, because there is no way I can live the rest of my life like this. There is no way. There has to be a way out. And now I'm going to share with you things. I have 5 things that I want to share with you that I personally used, that helped me to get out of binge eating, and actually, a lot of my friends and family members that they use as well. So depending on your situation, try different things. And by the way, never be afraid to get professional help, because there's sometimes issues where we're not even capable of handling on our own. The first thing that helped me actually was socializing. I know I said that I became antisocial, and I did because I was so embarrassed of what I was becoming and what was happening in my life, that I just didn't feel like there's anything interesting about me anymore. I didn't feel like I could talk to anybody about it, because I was embarrassed to express myself. But the main thing that actually made me move forward with my life was socializing with people. So, I started calling my friends. I'm like, let's go out, let's do this, let's do that. And then, I started meeting all these amazing people, where they would share their life experience, they would share their goals, they would share, where they are in life. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And this is what I'm missing. If I'm staying all the time home and just eat my problems away, like I'm not even able to meet all these amazing people and just speak to them, hear them out, and see what they are about. Roller coasters, rides, you will go ziplining, you will go paintballing. It would be anything that I would, anytime like my friends would call me, or I started calling my friends, I said, let's do something. So I could get out of the house and I was not forced to eat my problems away, right? So that was the best thing, because I'm like, listen, we live our life once and we are the architects of our life. So if we are home and stuck and just don't know what to do, like the best way would be like, to even feel some kind of better is to socialize, because you never know. First of all, some of the people that you meet might inspire you, and some of the people might have even similar problems that you can relate to and feel like you're not alone. So that was like my biggest thing at first. I started socializing, having fun with my friends, and I was like, wow, I've been missing all of this. Like, there's no way I'm going to let it happen again. And when you socialize and you're having so much fun, you sometimes even forget about food because you're so interested about what's going on in your life, so you just don't even care much about food. The second thing that I started applying to my daily life was actually listen to my body. You know how there are some times where people say you have to eat at a certain time, or you have to eat 3 times a day, or you have to eat this time a day, or you have to eat this many calories a day. Everybody is different. Like, I understand if you have a certain goals, maybe fitness goals that you're trying to achieve, and you just eat, to achieve them. But if you just solely following the rules that somebody made up, and you don't understand, you don't understand your body, you don't understand anything behind what they're saying, that's just, that's just not the way you should go about this. Because if you're listening to your body will tell you when it's hungry. Your body is going to tell you whether you're eating enough food or you're not eating enough food. And by listening to your body, it allows you not to binge eat and actually portion control yourself and be able to have as much as your body needs and not as much as you're supposed to eat, if that makes any sense. Another best way to overcome binge eating is actually portion control. So binge eating is uncontrollable eating disorder where you eat everything and anything all the time, right? So when you portion control, and the best way to go about it would be obviously like have somebody accountable for it. So they would kind of watch after you and see like how much you're eating, or if you're eating too much, they can let you know, and so this way you keep a track on your eating habits. But if you're not able to have anybody accountable, or you even too embarrassed to talk to people about this, you can have you can buy containers where there are portions that you should be eating, like the amount of portions that you should be eating. And I feel like that would be the best way as well, because you would know that once you eat this portion, you shouldn't be eating anymore. So knowing your portions and knowing how much is good for your own body is very helpful as well. Fourth thing that actually helps a lot is drinking water. So I also incorporate that a lot of my in my life, where first of all, water is like amazing for your body. It makes your skin glow, it makes your organs work better and more efficiently, and it's just amazing thing. It's just so natural because our body consists of like 70%, I believe, if I'm not wrong, of water. So we do need to replenish it all the time. What I do is first of all, I do drink a lot of water on a daily basis. That's just out of questions because it's just amazing for you. And I actually do not drink coffee, I do not drink tea, I do not drink juices or anything like that. Like my main to-go drink would be water all the time. And basically what another tip that I can actually have for you guys and give you guys is drink water before you eat. Once you drink water before you eat, it's like a quick way to fill your stomach to a point where you just don't feel as hungry anymore. So you're not going to eat as much as you think you would. So if you go into a restaurant and you feel like you might see all this amazing food in front of you and you don't feel like you want to overeat and feel like bloated and comfortable in general, drink water before your meal intake, and that's going to help you so much. And also just drink it on a daily basis. And this way, sometimes even we mistake our thirstiness for being hungry. So sometimes people might be thirsty but they think they're hungry, so they start eating. But sometimes you can drink some water and you feel like your hunger goes away, which in reality you was thirsty and not hungry. So make sure you always have your water next to you and just drink as much as you can. Last but not least, we have restrictions. So I don't know exactly how it goes. I forgot exactly how it goes. But basically, when you can't have something, you want it even more, right? So imagine if you put a restriction on something, like, I hear a lot of people putting restrictions on sweets to a point where they're just not allowed to have sweets at all because they are on a diet or they're supposed to, get to a certain shape. I don't believe in restrictions because I feel like the more you can't have it, the more you want it. So every time, you're restricted or you feel like you can't have it, you just end up one day just going off and eating 3 or even 10 times as much as you would, if you're able to have it. So when I was growing up, actually me and my brothers, my sisters, we were not allowed to eat sweets much because my parents were concerned with our teeth health. And basically, it was so crazy because we always wanted sweets. It was so great. It was just like because we were not allowed to have it and we couldn't have as much as we wanted, we always wanted it and we always craved it. But now I'm able to buy any type of sweet I want. I can buy anything I want. And honestly, I don't even eat sweets like that anymore. Like I'm more an salted person or savory person type of girl. But I'm not into sweets anymore. But it's so amazing how the mind works. Like when you can't have something, like you want it so much. So when I believe that you should not restrict yourself to any type of food, and I believe that you should have your cheat meals if you are on a diet, or you should allow yourself to have something that you very, very much like. If it's a chocolate, eat like a 1 piece a day, or eat like a whole chocolate bar like once a week to satisfy your cravings. This way, it's coming, you're not deprived of it, and you're able to eat it anytime you want. Well, not anytime you want, but you're still going to eat it. So this way, you're not going to get off your diet and just go crazy on everything that you see in front of yourself. So, I believe that restrictions do not work. I personally don't like diets. I believe in the balance eating, but everybody's different. If you do like diets and it works for you, just make sure you don't restrict yourself, because once you do, this is when you're not able to sustain the diet because you just crave of what you can't have so much. So those were my biggest things that actually helped me to overcome my binge eating, and that helped me to get out of that dark place that I was a few years ago. But I'm not embarrassed of it. I'm not concerned about it because it did happen in the past, and I don't like to dwell on it. That's why I never even spoke about it. But honestly, after seeing so many people struggling with it and so many people trying to find a solution, I'm like, let me share my story. And if anybody can relate, or anybody who feel like it can help, please send it to them, or please just share it with them, because I do want people feel like they're not alone and there's always a way out no matter what you're going through. So thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day.